Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach, and you're tuned in to Madden.
Okay, Coach, thank you. We are about 4,300 miles away from you there in Orlando as we come to you from the European home of the NFL, London, England. Coming up, another edition of the NFL International Series, and it should be a good one between the Houston Texans and the London Monarchs. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. On first down, it's Watson. Over the middle, it's complete. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
Watson on first down. Almost able to intercept it. That's one he would have liked to have held on to on this first drive. Instead, second down.
Even the greats in this game, and he certainly qualifies as one of them, they're going to have trouble if they continue to throw into double coverage.
He better be careful. Throwing into too much double coverage might have a couple of them picked off. They'll run it now out of the gun. He'll get about 3 as he's brought down right around the 42. Pretty good little two-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on third down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Throwing on third down, Watson. Man open, that's Kiki QT complete. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. 13 yards on his first catch. It's a first down as well. So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. And they'll run it here. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 12 more yards there and another first down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and it'll be second and very short. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
His first catch, good for 8 and a first down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1. That's
going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on.
Pass interference, defense.
And since the penalty occurred in the end zone, move the ball to the 1-yard line.
1st and goal from the 1-yard line. Costly penalty.
Watson. That's caught at the 1. Only a yard on the completion. It's 2nd and goal. They'll give it to him up the middle. And he is not going to get in as the big bodies stop him at the 1. They hold him again, and now all of a sudden it's 3rd and goal at the 1. Now Watson on 3rd and goal. That is caught. Hopkins for the Texans touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Texans have taken the early lead. A long opening drive, but a very successful opening drive. We call that methodical, I guess, when it takes that many plays.
Methodical and almost like a boxing match where you're hitting them with body blows. They can withstand them here. Look, they gave up the touchdown, but you don't feel like a knockout is there. But they keep doing that in the 4th quarter. That's when the knockout occurs.
And it becomes tough for that defense if they're on the field that long. We'll see if they can continue that in future drives. Now a play fake here on 1st down. That one complete to D.D. Westbrook. He's at the 30. 10. And touchdown. A big play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And his guys are an extra point away from tying this thing up. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Almost able to intercept it. That's one he would have liked to have held on to on this first drive. Instead, 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
We used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better. He decided to run a hitch route. It really helped to have a guy that can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. From the gun, here's Watson. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Hopkins. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. He had the touchdown on the opening drive. Now he's got a 1st down.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. Here's Watson, and finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards. 21 yards.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. But how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up the first down.
That's what impresses me about him. When he's called upon, usually gets it done. It'll be a 3-yard pickup, and it brings up 2nd and goal.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
All defenders get tired of hearing about their lack of hands and why they're playing defense instead of offense. But in this situation, it was the hands that made the play. Batting the ball away on an attempted...
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked by Ronnie Harrison. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
And he'll take this up to about the 7- or 8-yard line. Tackle made by the 2nd-round pick, Isaiah Oliver.
I think they're ahead of schedule now after that run. They might be bold with this 2nd down call after that type of a game.
All right, here we go.
They go play action. Mayfield. That's into the hands of Westbrook over the middle. And brought down, but not before they're able to get it up to the 25. He had the touchdown on the opening drive. Now he's got a first down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. After the penalty, it's Fournette. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of the yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. He'll pick up another first down with that run.
And all the way in for the touchdown. Ronald Jones, his first touchdown on the year. And his guys are able to strike for 6. And it's up and good. That pushes the lead now to 15-7. Boswell on now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone.
Now that's the kind of return you're looking for. To get to that spot on the field, that allows you to do a lot of things on offense.
And now out comes Houston. A tale of two extremes already in this game. A touchdown pass on their opening drive followed by an interception last time out.
Now, it sounds like things balance out, right? What's that mythological thing that we do? If you have a candy bar, have a diet soda with it, it balances it out. And we know that's not really true, right? Because the interception, that sting lingers a little bit longer. Got to come out now and put together some nice plays. And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain. Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Now they try the right side here. Room here to run. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. 25 yards the pickup there, and also a first down.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What is it, 3 plays, 3 first downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep this up, they'll get to that end zone real fast.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. Give him 3 on the gain there, 2nd and goal.
And, Brad, they went to a nickel defense, and that's a surprise this close to the goal line, because ordinarily you use the back end of the end zone, the sidelines as extra defenders, and you want bigger people on the field to try and help against the run.
He'll get it up the middle. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
The Texans on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. They're looking at a 3rd and goal here. Now they'll run it on the toss. Oh, then the spin. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th.
Brandon, I believe that they were in 4-down territory, and that's what they were thinking. But after the loss...
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked.
Please tell me this doesn't come off as snarky. But that's a relative chip shot. I mean, you've got to be able to execute that one. I don't care what they design on the other side about trying to block the kick. That should be 3 points on the board.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. If you're out at 55, 60 yards, low trajectory from here, you get that thing up. This should be 3.
Yeah, there's nothing routine in football, but this one really almost should be. Snap, hold, kick, ball through the post. Didn't happen that way. Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On 2nd down, it's Jones. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Now a first down carry by Jones. Across the 30 to the 31-yard line. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
All right, here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a first.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who could do more than one thing, and I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And I'm wondering if maybe they don't go away from him on this drive a little bit. He's been great, but they haven't scored a lot of points.
I think they still have to show him as a threat. Make sure he touches it a few times. But as you pointed out, use him as a decoy a little bit and get the ball in the hands of some other people in order to put more points on the board. But he's done a really nice job of establishing them with his running.
Yeah, he's established himself well. Now can they put more points up? Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
And his throw here is incomplete.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Watson on third down. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Watson. Caught left side, Hopkins. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another first.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys
under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes.
One thing they definitely like about this youngster is his motor. He is full throttle on each and every snap. Loves to get after the quarterback, and that has to feel good to him right there. His first career sack.
2 minutes to go here in the first half. Back to the booth right after this. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
To throw on second is Watson. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that one was nearly picked. Not sure he was accounting for the free safety. That brings up third down.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
And he'll find QT on the right side complete. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another first.
And another thing that makes the comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
Here's Watson. Throw right side, caught by O.J. Howard. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense, as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Watson looks to throw again. He rifles one that's intercepted. Derwin James with a pick. And he'll get this back across the midfield stripe and down to the 47-yard line.
And Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively, not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
Here we go now. Blue 90.
Following the interception, Mayfield. A dump underneath to Jones. And he'll get it down here to the 43. Call it a gain of 3. And it's a second down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Set. 3-19. 3-19.
Now a second down throw for Mayfield. It's grabbed over the middle by White. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. A first down throw for Mayfield. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. A throw left side, complete to his receiver, Westbrook. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. This will be their first trip to the red zone. It's 1st and 10 at the 14.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. A gain of 6 there on first.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
Now Mayfield. And that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now just under 30 seconds to go in this first half.
Brandon, some of those windows to throw the football that exist when you're between the 20s, they don't exist when you're this close to the goal line. But as a former DB, I liked it closer to the goal line. Tighter windows made it easier to cover people, actually.
And that is incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this third down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
And Boswell's kick is good. And they will move up by 10 now, 17-7. Still a little bit of time left here in the second quarter, but they do get 3 before the half and expand that lead.
And they have to be happy about that. And we haven't met a team yet that doesn't put an emphasis on trying to get points on the board in the last 2 minutes of a half. They'll be real excited to have those up on the board.
There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And the ground game's been good, but they're losing here in the second quarter. Can they use that ground game maybe to work the air attack a little bit more?
I think so, because now you can throw play action off of being able to run the ball effectively. And oftentimes you might want to just swing your back out of the backfield, get the ball in his hands in open space, and just don't get totally away from running it, because some of these runs now, they may pop bigger as the game goes along.
Yeah, they've been good with a run so far. The final shot before the break, Watson. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. And all the way down to the 29. All right, folks, eager to get back to this Week 4 matchup. We won't put up a fight. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game. Now this offense ready to head back out there. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups.
And that's caught inside the 30. Touchdown! DJ Chark, his second touchdown on the season. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, the second half, no matter what, with those first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever, this was a big score to start the second half.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Here's the Texans offense now, readying for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Now a handoff looking right. And he's going to get this one down to the 45. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
And that's a nice pickup of a first down on that second down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They go play action here on first down. He's going to float this one deep right, and this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey.
Oh, man, Brandon, not a real good throw that time. It looked like he tried to put a little too much air under this one, and it turned into a floater. And defensively, this is a dream. He could have fair caught that one. That was way too easy.
Mayfield now looking to throw on first down. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4.
Now let's go. Green, 39.
On the counter, here's Jones. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4.
And that run was memorable for only one reason. There was absolutely no place to run with the football. No gaps, no creases, no gain.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Hey, now let's go. Blue line.
From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. The open man is sharp. It's complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down. Okay, so now the question, how did he get that wide open?
Well, we both know that he shouldn't, because from the time they handed out scouting reports before this game, he was circled, starred, everything. Find him, cover him. But sometimes you can scheme a guy open. You put the receivers in a bunch. Maybe you move some motion. Maybe you put them on the backside of a formation, and all of a sudden you've got a better matchup. Every now and then, the offensive guys, they figure a way to get him open, even with everyone keeping eyes on him.
And that's certainly a guy they want to keep trying to scheme open. They go back to the ground with Jones. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. They get 6 here after the incompletion, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 4.
Third quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Mayfield from the gun on 3rd down. And this is going to be incomplete.
But plain and simple, that's the second time today that he's dropped a pass.
And that one, I think, maybe even a little easier than the earlier one that he dropped. Surprising.
Was this game announced as a night game prior to, and maybe his rhythm is just off? He's got thrown off. He's going to have to wake up, enjoy the sunshine, and go play.
And here comes the Texans now. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Well, they were coming out of the 4-3 defensively. Pressure coming off that right side from the DN.
And that's the blind side of most quarterbacks. If you're right-handed, that's the side you don't see quite as well. And that's why you rely on your left tackle, maybe your highest-paid offensive lineman, to take care of you. In this situation, that didn't happen.
Mayfield looks to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's White. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
They have certainly looked his way in this third quarter. Another catch, and it's good for a first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Mayfield now on second down. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
Looked like they had an opportunity for a big play across the middle, but he didn't have the concentration or the focus necessary and dropped it before he could haul it in.
And this offense on third down today, 2 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. Mayfield on play action. Open man right side is Sharp. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. They have certainly looked his way in this third quarter. Another catch, and it's good for a first down. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Now let's go.
The give is to Jones. Oh, that's just not fair, and now room to run. And he'll take it into the end zone for a touchdown. Ronald Jones, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
This is taken at his 4. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. Rolling to his right. That's incomplete. Nearly another pick. My goodness.
Sometimes we wonder about play calls, but this one made perfect sense to me. He's got the only touchdown that they've scored in this game. Tried to get it to him again on another deep ball.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Throwing on third down, Watson being chased, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, third quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. And this offense trotting back onto the field. Let's turn our attention here to Ronald Jones. He is hoping to find the end zone for a third time, and we sit now in the third quarter.
And nothing would excite him more, but I think even more so, his offensive line. Anytime you've got a guy scoring that many times, that means you've done a really nice job in front of him.
You're always giving props to the big fellas up front.
It's always a good idea. Those are some massive men. Another good run there, and now we're seeing an offense that's imposed its will on a defense. When we talk about that all the time, what does it really mean? It means that the guys on the offensive line...
Welcome back now here in London. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4.
Hurry up, here we go. Green, 30.
Fournette, a first down carry. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they won't put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Back to the ground, this time with Jones. And he's got this down to the 35. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
After the run by Jones, here's 1st and 10.
Here we go now.
And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And a short gain down to about the 33. 2 yards on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
A give to Jones. And he'll get this down to about the 30, 31-yard line. Tackled there by Monte Nicholson.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
The offense on third down, they've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6.
Hurry up, here we go. 3.
Working out of the gun, Mayfield. He completes it right side of lane. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. And defensively, they just don't seem to have much of an answer for this passing game.
Not at all. Look at the confidence that's exhibited here. With that type of a lead, clock on their side, instead of running it, they're still throwing it, trying to pick up first downs and keeping the football.
From the red zone now, Mayfield. That is caught at the 7. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. He's played a great game. It continues right there, even with this lead, confident to throw the pass and have the reception made.
There's no doubt who the leader of their team is there? There's no doubt who they want to ride all the way to the finish, because strategy would tell you run the football, run the clock down. Instead, they're letting him throw it because they feel that confident.
And feeling the pressure here and taken down. A sack back at the 7.
Well, that was point counterpoint, wasn't it? They decided to throw for it on 1st and goal. Instead, the defense counters with pressure, and the defense wins, getting a big sack.
2nd and goal from the 6 this time.
Set. Green, 39.
They'll give it to him up the middle. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Only a yard there, and that'll bring us to 3rd and goal. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop. Ball right around the 5 here, brings up third.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because...
And it's caught. Touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And this offense continues to pour it on. Trying to bust out of that losing funk, and these fans have to like this. And all right, fellas, this is more like it.
And I know that if this holds up after the game, they're going to give the fans a lot of credit being at home, getting the support. But you and I both know it goes deeper than that. They had to get it together in their own facility, look each other in the eye and say, okay, what's it going to take to break this losing streak? And they really came together with a good week of practice.
They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration, not a good play.
And now out comes Houston. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down.
Like so many tight ends nowadays, they have no problem at all putting him in the slot and letting him go to work. And that's a nice pitch and catch right there for a first down.
Watson now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Here's Watson. Flush to his right. And he's going to have the hook up to QT. Another nice gain. 16 yards there and a first down again.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. On first down, Watson. And he whips that one incomplete there. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10.
Down. Green the line. Green the line.
On 2nd and 10, Watson. Caught left side, Hopkins. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. And a nice gain of 21 yards. From the red zone now, Watson. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. He was trying to find O.J. Howard, and it's 2nd down.
Those throwing windows get a lot tighter near the end zone, don't they? And here's the thing. You already probably have 3 points in your hip pocket. You force a throw here and give up an interception, you come away with nothing.
Especially tough in the middle third of the field where he threw that one. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Watson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Yannick Ngakoue in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. Third and long. It's Watson. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. He had his lone attempt blocked earlier. And his kick is right there. It's good. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And it looks like this one won't work out. Hands team able to secure the football. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 92% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. Time for a break. We'll come back and wrap up garbage time after this. So it's our home team here in possession of the football as we come back. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more first down to help salt this one away. Again, it's Fournette. Fighting through it, he's got space. Fournette, first down, still going. And finally, wrestled down at the 11. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first.
I definitely like the play call. You don't expect it on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, do you? You expect a pass play. Had a little courage there to call the run, and boy, they were successful.
Well, not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Well, the lead late in the 4th, but Mayfield's going to throw it. This will be caught at about the 6. And he's into the end zone for the receiving touchdown. DJ Chark, his 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And this offense is running away with this one. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
So they are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Boswell on now to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Houston. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game.
Under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes. And before this 2nd down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game. So after the sack, they'll come up on a still manageable 2nd and 13.
Set. Green the line. Green the line.
From the gun, here's Watson. Looking middle, and it's incomplete.
I'm not even sure I know who this guy is out there playing right now. This is very unlike him, one of the most accurate guys in the league. totally off his game right now.
I don't know. I was going to ask you what you pin it on, but defensively, they've been pretty solid.
Well, sometimes, those defenders, they get into the receivers pretty well. And if they chip away at their timing, it's going to affect what you're doing throwing the ball as well.
Eluding the pressure right. And he fires one, but incomplete. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it. When you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
Now they go for it on fourth, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
All right, here we go.
Here's a give to Fournette. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Yeah, let me puff out my chest a little bit, even though I'm not rooting for either team. That was a really nice defensive play. It's awfully fun to watch, even in an offensive game.
To throw, Mayfield. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws, somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
And not even back to the line of scrimmage